Look up at the night sky on a clear evening, and somewhere in that darkness, there's a star that doesn't flicker. It just glows, steady, bright, almost warm. For thousands of years, humans looked at that light and called it beautiful. The Romans named it after their goddess of love, Venus, the most brilliant object in our sky after the sun and the moon. And for a long time, we let ourselves believe the fantasy. Same size as Earth, same rocky core, close enough to the sun to be warm, far enough to maybe, just maybe, hold liquid water. Scientists in the early 1900s genuinely believed Venus could be a tropical paradise. Lush jungles, vast oceans, a second chance for life in our solar system. Poets wrote about it. Explorers dreamed about it. It was the most dangerous lie the universe ever told us. Now here's the truth nobody talks about at dinner. We have sent over 40 spacecraft to Venus. 40. More missions than almost any other planet in our solar system. And do you know what happened to most of them? They died. Some of them never even made it through the clouds. Others reached the surface and went silent within minutes, crushed, melted, dissolved, erased, like they never existed at all. The Soviet Union built the toughest probes ever constructed specifically to survive Venus. Machines built like military tanks, pressure tested to extremes, wrapped in insulation, designed to outlast anything nature could throw at them. The most successful one, Venera 13, touched down on the surface and managed to send back data for 2 hours and 7 minutes before Venus killed it too. 2 hours, on a planet right next door to us. Before we go any further into what's actually waiting down there, before we cross through those golden clouds and find out what Venus does to everything that enters, make sure you're subscribed to Silent Threat, because where we're going next, you're going to want someone who knows the way. Trust me, you are not ready for what's hiding beneath that beautiful glow. Now, let's start our descent. Those clouds you see from space, the ones that make Venus look almost peaceful, they're not water. They're not ice. And the moment we tell you what they're actually made of, you'll understand why the nightmare starts before you even get close to the ground. Those clouds are made of sulfuric acid. Not a little bit of it. Not traces. We're talking about thick, dense, the endless layers of sulfuric acid droplets swirling at 300 kilometers per hour. Winds so fast, they could strip the paint off a fighter jet in seconds. And that's the part of Venus that's farthest from the surface. That's the welcome mat. Let's say you're descending. You've left your spacecraft. Maybe you think your suit can handle it. Let's walk through what actually happens, layer by layer. Because Venus doesn't kill you once. It kills you in stages. Like it's enjoying it. At about 60 kilometers above the surface, the acid clouds close around you. Think of it like swimming into a fog that eats metal. The sulfuric acid doesn't just burn skin. It reacts with almost every material we know how to build with. Titanium holds up for a while. Most other metals don't. Your visor? Gone. Your seals? Compromised. And you're not even close to the ground yet. As you drop lower, something else starts happening. The atmosphere gets heavier. On Earth, air has weight. You just don't feel it because you've lived in it your whole life. But on Venus, by the time you reach the surface, the atmospheric pressure is 92 times greater than what you feel standing on a beach at sea level. Imagine the entire ocean, not just the surface, the entire ocean, sitting on top of your chest. That's the pressure Venus greets you with at ground level. It's the same pressure you'd feel if you dove 900 meters underwater. Submarines aren't even built to go that deep, and we haven't even talked about the heat yet. The temperature on the surface of Venus sits at around 465 degrees Celsius. every single day, day and night, whether you're facing the sun or hiding from it. It doesn't matter. Venus holds its heat like a furnace that's been running for billions of years and has never once been turned off. That's hotter than Mercury, a planet twice as close to the sun. Lead melts on the surface of Venus, just pools on the ground like water. Your suit isn't going to save you. Your ship isn't going to save you. And the worst part? We haven't touched the ground yet. And what's on that ground, what the Soviet probes actually photographed before dying, is the part that will make everything we just described feel like a warm-up. You just touched down on Venus. Take a second to picture where you are. The sky above you isn't blue. It's not even black like space. It's a thick, heavy orange, like the world is permanently on fire just beyond the horizon. The light that filters through those acid clouds gives everything a sickly, yellowish glow. It looks like the last few minutes before a catastrophic storm. Except that storm has been frozen in place for millions of years, and it is never, ever going to pass. The ground beneath your boots is flat volcanic rock, cracked and scorched, stretching out in every direction farther than you can see through the haze. No mountains on the horizon, no rivers, no wind at ground level. The air is so thick down here it barely moves. It just presses, in every direction, on every surface, on you. This is exactly what the Soviet Venera probe saw when they landed here between 1970 and 1982. Scientists back on Earth held their breath as each probe descended, knowing they had maybe, a couple of hours before the machine died. The Venera 13 sent back the first color photographs of the Venusian surface. Sharp, clear, haunting, rocky slabs of volcanic terrain under that apocalyptic orange sky. It looked like the set of a horror film that nature built itself. And then, one by one, each probe went silent. Not because of a software error, not because of a bad antenna, because Venus consumed them. The heat warped their electronics. The pressure crushed their shells. The acid ate through their seals. Machines built by some of the most brilliant engineers in human history, destroyed in under 2 hours by a planet that wasn't even trying. Before we talk about what all of this does to something far more fragile than a Soviet space probe, before we go through what Venus does to a human body second by second, make sure you're following Silent Threat, because the next 60 seconds of this video are the part people don't sleep after. You've come this far. You need to see how this ends. You're still standing on the surface. You can feel the pressure. You can feel the heat beginning to win. Your body is about to become the next experiment Venus runs. Let's be honest about something right now. There is no suit. There is no technology. There is nothing humanity has ever built, or is currently building, that would keep a human being alive on the surface of Venus for more than a few seconds. And I'm not being dramatic. I'm being precise. So let's go through it. Because you deserve to know exactly what this planet does to a person. The moment your suit fails, and it will fail, faster than you think, the heat hits first. Now 465 degrees Celsius doesn't feel like anything you've ever experienced. It's not like touching a hot stove. It's not like opening an oven. It's the kind of heat that doesn't ask permission. Your skin doesn't blister. It doesn't have time. The moisture in your eyes evaporates in under a second. Your lungs, the moment they try to take a breath of Venusian atmosphere, 96% carbon dioxide, dense as soup, begin to shut down instantly. There is no air to breathe. There is only pressure and poison. And then the pressure finishes what the heat started. 92 times Earth's atmospheric pressure doesn't crush you slowly like you might imagine. It's not a gradual squeeze. At that level, the pressure difference between the outside and the inside of your body is so catastrophic that your organs don't compress. They rupture. All of them. Simultaneously. Now, Venus doesn't leave wreckage. It leaves nothing recognizable at all. Now here's the part that should genuinely terrify you. Engineers have actually designed theoretical suits and vehicles for Venus surface missions. NASA has concept blueprints. The proposed survival time for the most advanced theoretical lander we could build today, using every material science breakthrough we currently have. About 60 minutes. Maybe 90 if everything goes perfectly. Venus would still win. We would spend billions of dollars, decades of engineering genius, and the bravest human lives imaginable. For 90 minutes on the surface before the planet erases everything we sent. But none of that is the darkest part of this story. The darkest part. The thing that will rewrite everything you thought you knew about Venus, about Earth, and about where we are, all quietly, slowly heading, is what this planet used to be. Because Venus wasn't always like this. It didn't start as a nightmare. It was built from the same dream as ours. Billions of years ago, Venus may have had oceans. Real ones. Deep, blue, liquid water oceans covering its surface for potentially 2 billion years. 2 billion years is enough time for life to not just begin. It's enough time for life to evolve, to grow complex, to look up at its own sky and wonder what's out there. Some models suggest Venus once had a climate surprisingly similar to early Earth. Mild temperatures, a water cycle, maybe even rainfall. And then something tipped. Scientists call it a runaway greenhouse effect. But let me tell you what that actually means in plain language. Because the textbook version hides how terrifying it truly is. Imagine your home on a hot summer day. You close one window to keep the heat out, then another. Then you block the vents. The house gets warmer, so more moisture evaporates inside, which traps more heat, which causes more evaporation, a loop with no exit, feeding itself, accelerating silently until the inside of that house becomes incompatible with everything that once lived there. That's what happened to Venus. The oceans evaporated. The water vapor trapped more heat. The heat drove off more water. The carbon dioxide in the rocks baked out into the atmosphere and had nowhere to go. In geological terms, it happened fast. In human terms, it happened slowly enough that any life on Venus, if it existed, may have had millions of years of gradually worsening conditions before the end came completely. And here is the part nobody wants to say out loud. Earth is doing it too. Slower, much slower, but the same mechanism, the same feedback loop, the same quiet, compounding, unstoppable math. Venus isn't just a dead planet. Venus is a mirror. It's Earth's reflection from a possible future, sitting right next door, close enough to see with the naked eye on a clear night, glowing beautifully, as if nothing is wrong. The Romans named it after love. They had no idea they were looking at a warning. You survived Venus, this time. But the universe has far worse waiting. Places so extreme, so hostile, so utterly indifferent to human life that Venus starts to feel almost comfortable by comparison. Click the video on your screen to find out where we're going next. I'll see you in the dark.